Good morning, and Happy New Year to everyone. And I know that some people are going to be coming on. I hope to see a lot of you today. I have so many things to say. I hope we're going to see some new faces as well. And as you're coming on, please do two things. One, go at the top of the video and you can give StreamYard permission to use your Facebook profile. So in that way, you will be able to put chat comments in and I'll know who you are. And if not, when you put your chat comments in, you can just give me your name, so I'll know that as well. So we are live, and for those of you who don't know me, I see people are coming on. Good morning, Happy New Year. Give me some fire, give me some emoji, or just say hi and tell me who you are. So for those of you who are not familiar with me, I will give a little introduction. My name is Sveta Melchak, and I've been running this group for, actually only since about like April, May, like when really focused on it and developing it. And hello, Debbie. I was waiting for you to come on, of course. Happy New Year to you and your family. And I'm a professional home stager. I've been doing staging since 2006, and I am in Montreal, Canada, because a lot of people think I'm in the US, but I'm not. And I've transitioned, or I'm still transitioning my business online, and now I work with home sellers everywhere in the world. I've had clients in Australia and New Zealand, and let me see, a lot across the USA, several people in Canada as well. And I've talked to a few people in South Africa as well, so in Australia. So that's really exciting. And this is today with the technology and everything, this is very possible, and it works extremely well. And we'll talk more about it. So I say hi to me, and as you get on, and as I mentioned before, you can give permission to StreamYard at the top of the video to use your Facebook profile. This way, from now on, I'll be able to see who you are. And if not, just give me your name and say hello. So I have so many things to say that I made notes. I made lots of notes, and it's my first talk of the year. I usually do those Facebook Lives every Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you're not able to catch it live, it's not a problem, because I always keep it in the announcement section for a few days. And then you can also find it always in Unit 3. I save all of the talks. And if there's anything specific, I always struggle to find topics, because it's not that easy to always come up with, something new to talk about every Monday. So I do encourage you to give me suggestions and tell me if there's particular topics that you want me to address. It will be my pleasure. So I do want to talk about, today we're talking about your home preparation and staging plan and how to make it easier and simpler and more doable. So I do have a lot of ideas, and it always comes back to kind of my framework, things that I've developed over the last 15 years of actually practicing what I preach. But before we do, I also want to talk a little bit and ask you some questions about what is your one big goal for 2021, whether it's a personal one or selling your house. I hope you will be selling your house in 2021 if you're hanging out with me here. And what is the one big thing that you would like to happen, and what kind of plans do you have for it? So give me some answers if you have them, and I'm trying to follow your answers on my phone, because it's with the StreamYard, it's a little bit difficult. Now, I had a lot of things that happened over the holidays, which some of them were kind of unexpected, so I just want to share that with you. So first of all, one of my personal goals is to lose 20 pounds, and by June. So when you have a goal, you'll notice that you'll have to kind of be very specific. And there is a reason why I'm telling you that. It's because you're going to do the same thing with your home selling plan. So I want to lose 20 pounds by the end of May, Why? Because I want to feel better. I want to, like myself in a bikini. And also because my daughter is getting married. She was supposed to get married last June, and because of the pandemic, the wedding was postponed. Now she's going to be getting married in June, no matter what. So I want to go look good for her wedding. So that's one of my goals. And the other goal I have is, I haven't really talked about it very much, but my husband and I, we also do home flips, and we are doing a rehab on a house right now, which we started in October. And it's a big rehab. Usually the houses that we buy, they require quite a bit of work. We're building a whole basement, changing the kitchen, changing the bathroom, redoing the floors. So I can't wait to have it finished and done. So on the weekend, my husband was building the IKEA kitchen cabinets, and I might go there this afternoon to see what the progress is. And then we need to sell it. So we need to sell it ASAP. I am in the same situation as I'm talking about to you today, about having your preparation and staging plan, because that's what I'm doing myself for this particular house. Obviously, it's going to be brand new. It's going to be renovated, but I still have to stage it. And yes, Debbie said she joined Noom and she's enjoying the program. Actually, we can take this offline if you want, but I also joined Noom like 3 days ago, and I don't really need it, to be honest, because I kind of already know all that stuff. But I think it's really good to be accountable, and that is another thing that we're going to talk about today, and why I want you to set a date. I'm giving away all my secrets up front, but I do want to for you to set a date, because when you set a date, you become accountable. So to go back to the rehab house, it's very hard to nail my husband down for a specific date on when the house is going to be ready. He hates me. Well, he hates it when I ask him that question. But I keep telling him that he has to be prepared for the house to be ready by the latest February 15th, because no matter what, this is when we're putting the house up on the market. Of course, it has to be staged. Before, I will be posting pictures. I see people coming on, say hello to me, give me emoji, and give me your name. And so, because why? And it's the same reason as everybody else. The market is really good right now, and I want to benefit from it. It's a seller's market. There's not a lot of properties for sale. So I do want to put my house on the market by February 15th, because I want to have it sold and hopefully gotten our money by April 15th to May 1st. Why? Because there's another big thing that happened completely unexpectedly over the holidays, is that we purchased another house. And we purchased a house for us, probably to live in. So it's going to be a big year for me personally. We're going to probably renting the place where I live now, and we'll be renovating that tiny little house that we bought, but it was my husband's dream. It's on a lake, and it's directly waterfront, so he can have his boat, he can enjoy the view. It's really his dream, to be honest. It's not mine, but this is what marriage is all about. I guess it's compromise, so I'm compromising. And luckily, it's not too far from downtown Montreal. It's like literally 40 minutes, 45 minutes drive. So there are big things happening. It's going to be a big personal year for us, and hopefully it's going to be big professional year for me as well. I also have some goals and some plans, and I want to double the size of my business. I want to double the size of this wonderful community, and I want to get to know a lot more of you personally, and talk to you, and have a relationship with you, and hopefully be part of your success stories, and hopefully help you sell your house for a lot of money, and see how happy you are when that happens, because that makes me happy. So if what is your one big goal for 2021? Put it in the comments, and let's see. Hopefully you are selling your house this year, so let me know if you are. And if you're watching the replay, you can put it in the comments in the replay, because I'll be seeing each one of your comments, and I respond to every comment as well. So are you selling your house this year? Is this one of your goals? And if so, then why are you doing it? Like, what is your next step? Like, there is a reason why you want to be selling your house, and what is your next step? Are you going to downsize? Are you going to move somewhere else? Are you do you want to buy a bigger house because that's a better life for your family? And what is happening? Just let me know. So today I really want to talk to people who are within, let's say, the 6 months selling range, because this is who I work with. And I think it's the people who are the most ready for actually taking action. Okay, I mean, we have a lot of people in the group who are maybe like a year away from selling the house, and they're just hanging out and learning things, and which is great, which is fine. But really, it's when you have an actual plan and you stop procrastinating. And today, this is my pep talk to you, and it's a little bit of a tough love, is that you have to, if you are serious and if you do have a date, like let's say you want to sell your house by June, this is who I'm talking to. I want to talk to you, and I want to give you some pointers. So if you, I don't personally, I'm not crazy about plans and setting dates, and I have a hard time with that. But I know it is important because, as I mentioned before, once you set a date, you kind of feel embarrassed, especially when you declare it. You kind of feel embarrassed going backwards. And even if you don't declare it publicly, but in your mind, when you set your listing date, you become accountable for it. So whether you're accountable to yourself, or hopefully you can be accountable to me, and you can tell me what is the date that you're setting for the listing of your house. This is the first thing I want you to do if you want to have a real, doable, and easier plan on how to prep and stage your house for sale. So we need to have a date. And then once we have that date, and if you already have a date, then put it in the comments, and hopefully I'll see them. And then you have to work backwards from there. So like me, I want to put my house up for sale by February 15th. So if I was living in a house, my situation is a little different because we're renovating it. So we have some renovating issues things that have to happen, things have to move forward. So I act as a project manager on that house. And then, in my mind, I have to start thinking about staging. So I have to make sure that I have all of the inventory that I need. And if there are things that I'm missing, I have to go source them. But if you're living in the house, which is, who my clients are, then you have to start working backwards from that date. And of course, I want you to be realistic. And I've done some research over the weekend, and actually there was a very interesting article, which I will post, from Zillow. And Zillow basically says that most people take an average to 2 to 3 months, which I think it makes a lot of sense, 2 to 3 months to properly prepare and stage a house for sale. So, I don't want you to stress yourself out. I mean, some people call me and they say, oh my God, my house needs to be on the market in a week because I found another house that I really like and I want to make an offer on, which is fine. It can happen. We can work together and we can kind of speed through the thing. But the average, if you can take that time a little bit in advance and start working your way through the things you need to work through, and take 2 to 3 months, then you're going to be, more relaxed, less stressed out, feeling less overwhelmed on everything that needs to be done, especially for people who've lived in the house for a long time. And some people get me and they lived in a house for 38 years. And I know my house is very cluttered, and I know I have a lot of stuff, and I don't really know what to do, and I don't know where to start. So this is where I come in. This is really what my specialty is. But the important thing is to realize that you need 2 to 3 months to get ready. And so you need to stop procrastinating, and you really need to start taking action if you are serious about selling your house in the next 6 months. Now, this talk today was inspired by someone in this group. She knows who she is. I had a very, very good conversation with her last week. And this is something that she admitted to me, is that she knows she wants to sell her house, but she's constantly procrastinating because she doesn't know what decisions to take and what decisions are the best, and she gets different opinions from different people, and at the end of the day, because she doesn't know which is the right choice, she ends up not doing anything, and things are not moving forward. And so I told her that this is enough, and if she decides to work with me, I'm going to be basically holding her accountable, and I'll be following up on her. I'll be helping her to take all those decisions and actually get things moving and get things done. So one thing I wanted to ask you is what is in your area, if you know, put it in the comments, what is the best time of year for you to sell your house. And I found, I knew that after 15 years of being in the real estate, but Montreal and Canada is maybe a little bit specific because we have very defined seasons. In the winter, it's cold and snowy and difficult to move. And so traditionally, people put their houses for sale, like, at around February, March, April, and they want to sell for the beginning of the summer. Now, when I went on Zillow and I did some research, it actually turned out to be pretty much the same, except for this last year, 2020, because everything was screwed up in 2020. There was no patterns. Everything was completely different, nothing that we were used to. So we don't know if it's going to continue like this, the trend that we've seen in 2020, or if it's going to go back to the kind of a regular thing. But let me know in the comments, in the chat comments, if in your area you feel that there are seasonal patterns and there are some better times for sale of your house, or if it's the same the whole year round. Okay, in general, in most places in the world, it's actually, somebody calculated those statistics and it was super interesting, is that the best time to sell your house seems to be around May and June, which is not really surprising. But not only that, it's actually, somebody calculated that if you sell your house around May or June, you will probably get a higher price for it, which I did not know. Okay, so that was kind of a revelation to me. And they even put an amount on that, and it was anywhere between $1,500 to up to $6,000 more, because I think it's psychological that towards the end of the spring, people start kind of rushing and they want to buy a house and they want to move during the summer. And so whatever is available at that time, they're willing to take it and maybe pay more money for it. So, once again, if you do have specific times of the year that you think is better for sale in your area, put it in the chat comments and let me know. But in general, people really shop for houses in the springtime. And why? Because they get tax refunds, so they have a little bit more cash. They have a nicer weather, so nicer weather to walk around, to look at houses, also to move. And usually most people buy, like if they have kids, they buy for the summer so they can move during the school break. But again, everything is kind of not exactly the same in 2020. So what's happening if you go backwards? So let's say in your mind, you decide that you're going to list your house for, I don't know, April 1st, let's say. That means that you have 3 months to get your house ready for sale, which means that you should be starting it now. So you shouldn't be procrastinating and you shouldn't be delaying it. You should start building your plan and be as specific as you can be today. You have to start. So that is the whole point of this talk. So the other reason for you to, if you are serious about selling your house in the 6 months, why you shouldn't be procrastinating, it is because we all know that it is a seller's market. So in most areas, it is the market is hot and the houses are selling like crazy and fast. And so if you can benefit from them, then you should, because if you decided that you're going to be selling anyway, then what's the point of waiting? Because the market could change at any time. So it is a seller's market. So capitalize on that. And you can start, decide to put the house on the market pretty soon. And also the low mortgage rates. So right now, because of the mortgage rates, that creates extra demand for the housing. And so that's why it's a seller's market. Now, another little point that I want to talk to you about before we talk about how to work backwards from your listing date is you have to be ready. And when I talk about being ready, and I'm not going to really expand on that, maybe I'll have another talk sometime about that. But it's not necessarily, you have to be ready in terms of what is your lifestyle. Is there a lifestyle change that's happening? Are you moving for a job? Are you downsizing because your kids are gone, your house is too big? Do you have health issues that you want to have a different lifestyle? Maybe eventually you want to travel, which is what I want to do. And also, are you ready emotionally? You really have to be ready emotionally to be able to sell your house especially if you're attached to it. And then the other thing is, if you build enough equity in your house, you probably will have some financial benefits. If you've accumulated equity and you want to go to an upsell, so you want to go to a bigger house, you can probably, by selling now, you can have a bigger down payment for your dream home. Of course, you have to look at the other factors, whether you can afford it and the payments and all that stuff. So I'm not going to go into that today. But if you, let's say you went through all these factors, and you know in your heart of hearts that today is the year, today is the time for you to start selling, then you really have to, my suggestion is for you to work backwards, as I said. So first thing you need to do is you need to commit. You need to commit. You need to decide on when the listing date is going to be. Of course, there could be some unforeseen circumstances that could change that, but you still need to commit and to be accountable. And you start working backwards. And I've built the framework, and it's just based on my 15 years of experience of being a home stager, which always boils down to pretty much the same thing. I mean, of course, it's customizable, and of course, every client, every person is different. But at the end of the day, those are the steps that you should still go through yourself or with me. So the first step is always the same. You can't really start doing things if you don't have a plan. And that's why we're talking about a plan today. So before you build a plan, you need to assess your current situation, and you need to analyze your competition, so you really know and understand what you're working with, and like, where do you start? Like, where am I at today? How good is my house compared to the market around me? Or what is it that I need to fix? What is it that I need to do? And how should I make it look better in order to win, this competitive game, and also sell my house fast and for top dollar? And so this is the first step, which you can't really, in my opinion, in my experience, you can't really do anything until you go through that first step, which is assessing your current situation and analyzing. And most people skip that. Like, honestly, most people are not very good at taking the time and being critical and being objective with themselves to assess the situation. Now, I'll take a minute and I'll announce it now. I actually run a home value multiplier challenge. I did a couple of times in the fall, and I'm planning a new free challenge. It's going to be the last week of January. So it's going to be January 25th to 28th. It's absolutely free. It's going to be run in this group, but you're going to need to register for it with an email address and stuff. So I will start posting a lot of stuff about it and a registration page and all of that. But basically what I'm giving you is that the Home Value Multiplier Challenge is teaching you how to use a very specific tool that I've created, and that's my professional tool, which is your house assessment worksheet. And that helps you with the step number 1, or the step number A, which is assessing your current situation. Once you assess it, then you know what you need to improve so you can increase the resale value of your house. And that's the whole premise of the challenge, is to get you going, to give you that first motivation, that first step of assessing your current situation, determining what is lacking, so how to make it better, what is it that you need to do to improve, and then obviously after that you're going to get going, okay, and actually implement it. So if you're interested in participating in this challenge, once again, it's going to be the week of January 25th. It's going to be in this group, and it's going to be like daily trainings every day at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So if you have specific questions or you don't want to wait, just DM me or comment below, and I'll send you all of the information about that free challenge that I hope a lot of you are going to participate in. So the first step is you have to assess and analyze. The second step, and I'm kind of skipping things because I don't want to keep this session too long, but you actually do need to build an action plan. So, I come from a project management background. I worked in information technology field in sales for many years, but it doesn't have to be a complex project management tool. I'm not asking you to do that, but you do need to have some kind of a plan, an action list, which which will tell you, okay, we need to paint those 3 rooms. We need to get our carpet ripped out and replaced with floating floor. We need to declutter, this family room or this extra room that's kind of been accumulating all sorts of junk. We need to I don't know, buy curtains, remove our window coverings, and buy some cheapy curtains. So there is a list of things that needs to be done, and that becomes your plan. Now, my suggestion is always look at the big things first. So don't look at the decorating stuff. Don't look at how many cushions I'm going to buy and what plant and where am I going to put my artwork. Start with the biggest things first for several reasons, because those biggest things are probably the things that are going to take more time. And then remember, we're working backwards from your plan. So you have to estimate, okay, I'm going to need to find a painter. So that might take a week. So, when am I going to be painting? Before I paint, I need to declutter this room. So how much time do I need a week to get it decluttered? So you work backwards, and you start with the biggest items first and the ones that take the longest time first. And then the secret is really, that is what I was going to tell you. The secret is to have a plan, and to have a clear plan, and not to get distracted and overwhelmed and over analytical about all these little things. But you need to prioritize, and you need to find the most important things and the things that are going to generate the biggest return on your investment. That is how you make it simpler. This is how you make it easier. And that's how you make it doable. So it might not be perfect, but we're not going for perfection. And actually, Debbie, if you join Noom, you'll see I'll post a picture after. And I actually stole it from Noom on the weekend. And there's just like a little quote there that says, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to take action. So this is exactly, I decided that, it applies to us as well. Your house doesn't need to be perfect, but you do need to start taking action to bring it to the level that you want to showcase it at. Now, you also, one of my suggestions is that you have to plan to get some help. So when you build your action plan, and it can become kind of overwhelming, is if you can financially, then there are certain areas where you could get help. Maybe you're not going to be painting those 3 rooms yourself. Maybe you're able to hire a painter, and even if it costs you $1,000, but that's going to, remove the stress, and it's going to make things move faster. And that's an important thing to do. So also you need to understand the priorities, and basically you have to work efficiently. So this is another thing that from my discussion with this lady last week, is that she is very analytical, and she has a huge list of everything that she thinks she needs to get done before she puts her house on the market. Now, I haven't had a chance yet to go through her list, so I can't discuss the details. But my point to her and my point to you is, maybe on that list, there are items that are nice to have, but are not necessarily to have. So you have to really prioritize. You have to think about your time frame. You have to think about your budget, and basically you have to make a plan that's doable for you and that's realistic for you, and gets you the biggest return on your investment. And this is where most people really have a really, really hard time, because they get stuck. They get stuck because they see all this information available everywhere, available on Pinterest and available on YouTube. And, this particular lady had realtors coming into her house, and she had designers coming into her house, and she had stagers coming into her house. And every time somebody came into her house, they gave her different advice. And at the end of the day, she got so confused, and that she's not doing anything. And so I want to really help her change that. So the where most people get stuck and overwhelmed is because they don't have the priorities plan. They don't know what's important, what's less important, and they don't know what to do and what not to do, which is as important, right? And so at the end of the day, they're afraid of making a mistake in terms of time, mistake in terms of money, and then invest on things that might not be necessary and are just going to hold them back, right? Because we all have the same goal, and the goal is to invest as little as possible into the house that we're selling to get the biggest return that we can. And so this is really where my expertise is. This is what I do, is basically I help you create that action plan. I review it with you. We make sure that we agree on it. I help you to take the decisions, and I help you to execute those decisions by holding you accountable, which means I will be gently kicking your booty into action, and I'll be motivating you, and I'll be helping you along the way, and I'll be present to make sure if you have questions or doubts, or if you're feeling overwhelmed or you're not sure which way to go, to be there. So this is really my job, and my role is to help you. Or if you already have a plan, which is great, then I can review that plan and we can, talk about it and see if everything on that plan is what you really need to do, or we can somehow make it more effective for you. So if you have any questions, I don't see any questions coming in, but if you have any questions, please post them in the chat box and I'll be very happy to answer. If you have any questions after, if you're watching a replay, just type #replay and I'll answer the questions as well. But basically what I wanted to say is that I want you to not procrastinate any longer. If you are serious about selling your house, let's say between now and June, in the next 5 to 6 months, then the time really to start thinking about it and preparing your action plan and starting to execute your action plan is now. So let me know when you're going to be selling your house. Let me know if your action plan is ready and how you feel about it, if you're feeling confident about it, if you need any kind of help, if you have questions, if you're unsure of where to start, what to do, what not to do. And I really want you to stop procrastinating. So maybe you need a little gentle nudge. And so if you do need a nudge and you want to start taking action, then I encourage you to get on a call with me. So I will be putting a link. For those of you who don't know, I do offer absolutely free, no obligation, one-on-one, free 20-minute calls. And if you have any questions or anything you want to discuss with me, or you're unsure about something, this is your chance to ask me in a one-on-one. And one-on-one, we can actually get on a Zoom call together. So you can DM me, you can post a comment below, you can schedule the time. I have a scheduler, automated scheduler, whichever you feel comfortable with, but you can just connect with me through this group, and I'll be very happy to schedule a time with you and help you to get going. Okay, this is what I want for you. It's fresh start. It's the beginning of the year. We want you to get going. So you can get on a call, on an absolutely free 20-minute call with me to ask me questions. And also, as I mentioned before, I will be running. I'm committing. I'm making myself accountable. It's a lot of work, but I will be running an absolutely free 4-day challenge the last week of January 25th to 28th, and it's called Home Value Multiplier Challenge, and it teaches you how to assess your current situation, how to be critical, how to be objective, which is most people have a really, really hard time with, and coming out with a real honest answer for yourself on where your house stands at right now and how it compares to your competition. So by knowing your point A, where you're starting, you will know what you need to do to increase the resale value of your house, and hopefully it will help you to move forward and actually get the work done. So that concludes my talk for today. I do encourage you to get in touch with me for any questions, and as I said, we can hop on a Zoom call. We can do it through DM, we can do it through FaceTime, whatever you guys have available. So I hope you're all well. I hope you started your new year well, and I hope you have big plans, and I can't wait to hear about them. So share your plans with me. Share your one big goal, by when are you going to be selling your house, and how I can help you to make it happen. Okay, so I wish you a really, really good day, and I'll talk to you soon.